Okay guys, welcome back to another video. So I've made the decision, based on the fact that I'm still getting a bit of a lumpy idle, is to synchronise the carburetors. Okay, so what I've got here is my carburetor synchronizer kit, shall we say. As you can see, it's only a 2-dial kit, but unfortunately this is a 4-cylinder engine. Okay, the reason I've got this is because I've used this on my old motorcycles, and this is the first 4-cylinder I've ever owned. Most of the others have been twin cylinders, but I reckon I can still do the job just with the 2. So what you want to do first off is hook up the vacuum lines from each of the gauges onto the vacuum ports just after the intake boots, which are there. So the carburetors are here, intake boots, then engine. This is it for cylinder 1, so it's a similar position, you can't quite see, but cylinder 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so I've already hooked these up. So this one is on cylinder number 2 and this one is on cylinder number 3. Okay, and I'll go through now why I picked them two to do first. Okay, to help illustrate the process, I've drawn a little diagram here. So what I'm showing here is all the individual carburetors, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is going from left and right, left to right. Okay, and with all 4-cylinder engines, carburetor engines, you're going to have what is called a master carburetor. So that is a carburetor that cannot be adjusted. Okay, and in this case, in the case of this engine, it's number 3. Okay, so this one cannot be adjusted, and all adjustment is essentially adjusting to this master carburetor. Okay, so in between each of the carburetors here, I've indicated with letters the adjustment screws for the synchronization. So you got A, B and C. Okay, so to enable us to use 2 gauges to do 4 carburetors, we've got to do it in sequence to make sure we don't mess it up. So step 1 I've got is using adjustment screw B, okay, which when I adjust it, because obviously 3 is the master carburetor, adjusting B will only adjust carburetor 2 to 3. So the first step is to adjust 2 to 3, okay, and from that point then 2 is synchronized with 3. Step 2 is then to use adjustment screw A, okay, to synchronize carburetor 1 with 2. Okay, and this adjustment A will only adjust carburetor 1, it won't adjust carburetor 2. So that'll stay as it were from the previous step. So all you're adjusting at this point is carburetor 1. So once you've adjusted carburetor 1 using that to 2, you can say that 1, 2 and 3 are all synchronized. Okay, and the last step is using adjustment C, this one here, okay, and that'll adjust carburetor 4 to carburetor 3, again the master carburetor, and that will only adjust 4. So once you've done that, you've adjusted 4 to 3, all the carburetors are synchronized together. Okay, let's do this. Right, I hope you can hear this over the sound of the engine. So as per the last video, I've got the gauges hooked up to cylinder number 2 and cylinder number 3, the master carburetor on this one. The engine's warmed up, not by temperature, hello dog, not by temperature, but by the fact that I don't need the choke anymore, and it seems to be idling. Okay, so as you can see, there is a difference. We're around the 11 inches of mercury on number 3, and on number 2 I'd say that's about 8. So we are seeing an imbalance here. So next step is I'm going to see if I can get access to the adjustment screw. So adjustment screw B, after that diagram, in between carburetors 2 and 3, which is located here. I think I'm going to have to take the air filter off again to do that, to get access to it. But we'll do that, and then we'll go from there. And you'll see me do the adjustment, and hopefully these values will start tying up, start aligning with each other. already then. So, almost lost my fuel tank. So to access the carburetor adjustment screws to synchronise them, unfortunately I have to remove the airbox, the air filter, and the what do you call it, intake trumpets, should we say? Say hello, dog. These things, which are mounted onto this here, so they have to get out of the way, so I can access the adjustment screw. So at the moment I've got this sat on the adjustment screw between 2 and 3. So I'll start her up, get her warmed up again, and I'll bring it back for the adjustment. Let's do this. Okay guys, so the bike's warmed up. Hope you can hear me. Bike's warmed up. Got the screw on the adjustment screw, so I'm just going to start turning it until I get these two to line up. About right ish. That's number 1 and 2 adjusted. Both at the same sort of level, 8 or 9. That's 2 and 3. Then there's 3 and 4. Not perfect, but I can't seem to get any better. Okay guys, so I've done the carb synchronization as best as possible. It was a bit fiddly, to be honest, with the 2 gauge. I think I might do it again at some point in the future with a proper 4 gauge kit. But anyway, the idle still, I guess, still not perfect. What I've done, I let it warm up and I redid the exhaust gas temperatures, and that's what I'm showing you here. So it has evened it out. You know, I'm seeing less of a difference between all the cylinders. Still a difference, as you can see. The cold cylinders have now got hotter, and the warm cylinders, well, number 2 in particular has got a bit colder, and number 1's got a bit warmer. So it's a bit more even. Okay. Hi guys. So even though I synchronised them with just the 2 gauges, I thought I would just get the 4 gauge kit and just do a double check. It's a useful tool to have, I think, and not very expensive. So I've hooked it up, started again. I have not adjusted the carburetors at all, so kind of this is a check of how the synchronisation went before with the 2 gauges. So to be honest, I think it's not too bad. I mean, I could probably do some slight tweaks, but pretty good. So I might leave it as it is. Happy with that. Now then guys, as you saw in the previous video just then, I confirmed that the carb synchronization I did with just the 2 vacuum gauges was good, even though I eventually bought the 4 gauge just to be sure. Anyway, it proves that the method, the 2 gauge, did work. So the next step I'd like to do is just to fine tune the pilot screws. Recommendation is, before you do this, is to do the carb synchronization, because obviously that'll have an effect on this. So I've done that now. Currently the carburetors are set to their standard setting, which is 2 turns out. So the bike starts up now, on choke it's fine. Once it's warmed up it idles, a bit lumpy still, which I think this is what's going to fix, because I've realised obviously that, as you might not be able to see, but this bike has got a non-standard exhaust. Okay, so that definitely is going to affect how the engine breathes, and with the standard setting might be slightly off, it might need a little bit more fuel. So hopefully with this fine tuning, the pilot screw is going to address that. And to make this job easier, you can buy this tool here, which is a pilot screw adjustment tool. It's nothing specific to a CBR600. It's a generic tool to be applied on can be applied to many 4-cylinder carburetor bikes, especially ones where the pilot adjustment screw is underneath the carburetors like this one is. This allows you to, from one end, go under, locate the screw and adjust it. So on the end here you've got flat edge screw, like a screwdriver end, and then as you rotate this end, that stays still and it just rotates that end. So it allows you just to fine tune it, especially in tight spaces where before I've done it with maybe a little ratchet or something. You don't have to worry about the turning radius, there's not enough room. So I'm going to set this up and have a go. It's also got a useful indicator here, you can see on the nil bit and then on the actual main body. So I guess you can line them up, and once you're in position, tighten the grub screw on that down, and then you can rotate it, and then it makes it very easy to count the number of turns. It's quite neat. So I'll set this up and have a bash. Half a turn, listen for an RPM increase. pilot screws now adjusted at 3 turns out each exactly. To me the RPM and idle has smoothed out a little bit. It's still not perfect, to be honest, but to be honest, I'm struggling what else I can do to try and resolve that. Everybody watching these videos has also got a CBR600. Let me know if like that sort of oscillation at idle is normal, or it should be absolutely steady as a rock. Let me know. Thanks.